Hey guys, Sincere here with whoissincere.com. I want to bring to you a disturbing article that I'm actually reading here on the Daily Coast site. It says Charlotte police have proposed a new way to fight crime and it's insane. Charlotte's police department and city council are considering a new policy that will prohibit people who have been arrested from entering certain areas of the city, from the Charlotte Observer. Under the controversial proposal, Chief Kerr Putney could designate a high crime area as a safety zone in response to crimes such as drug sales or discharging guns that were committed on public property. Someone who has been arrested for crimes in the area could be issued a notice that they are no longer allowed to enter for as long as the safety zone is in effect. Entering the zone after being prohibited would be a misdemeanor. Then the author of the article goes on to say, "This is everything that is wrong with policing and criminalization in America in one insane policy. At first glance, it's easy to name at least 5 elements of this proposal that, if implemented, will result in over-policing, over-incarceration, and disproportionate criminalization of poor people and minorities." Okay, this is how I'm feeling about it. I'm feeling that these are the kind of laws that are being implemented, the draconian laws that are being implemented, that are all a part of the new police state, where they're sectioning, they'll be able to use these laws, just as the last sentence says, disproportionately, criminalize people. They'll be able to use these laws to disproportionately criminalize people so that you can't move about freely. This is all about restricting your freedom of access. This is all about monitoring where you go and about protecting interests. I said in a previous YouTube, probably about 30 or 40 YouTubes ago, the police don't protect us. We pay them our tax dollars to protect the cities and the counties' interests and the state's interests. So they're going to protect all the buildings that are in the city. They're going to protect the suburban areas of the city. They're going to police in the areas where they can lock people up. They're going to make sure you stay out of the areas that they don't want you in. And that's what they're doing. They're protecting those areas, not the communities of the actual city. If they were, they would also be policing in the areas where people are getting, should be getting speeding tickets as well in rich communities where there are no cops and you can drive 100 miles an hour and not get pulled over. So, this law, what they're introducing, it's not a law yet, but what they're introducing, this new policy, is a surefire way for them to take people, anyone that they deem as criminals, even people that aren't criminals, anyone that they deem as criminals. This is what it'll turn into, will eventually be sectioned off and either quarantined to a certain section of the city or quarantined out of the city based on the amount of safety zones that the policy would allow. So, I guess what you could say is, if we look at history and how history, has, policies in the past have taken the African Americans and people, of lower income and of also of different ethnicities other than white, and have placed them into these ghetto environments, into these projects. That's exactly what the whole plan was based on. It was called a project. If we look at that and we see how there's a sectioning off of communities, and you talk about taxes and, the schools and things like that, this policy is really nothing new. It's a policy that's been in practice for a while, but it's only strengthening what's already been in practice, but not really officially said through law. So implementing this would allow them to take those actions even further from what they were, previously probably afraid to implement a policy like this. Now the public is so scared and fearful of, anything happening, and people are so divided on issues that they can slide policies like this right under the door and they become law tomorrow. So having this policy implemented, which I believe that it'll probably happen, it's going to change the way that policing happens in America. If you think that this is going to be a singular event, think again. A lot of cities will start to adopt the same form of policing in years to come, And you'll see this, and you'll get an argument of people that say, well, this is good for us, and this keeps crime low, and it keeps those criminals out of my area. Not necessarily so. It just means that they'll get a misdemeanor. It means that it'll provide more revenue to the jail system. It means that more people can be criminalized for activities that they may not be committing. So it opens up a whole new stream of revenue for the privatization of jails. This is bad. It's bad all the way around. This is bad for civil rights. This is bad ethically. It doesn't make sense. And I hope that you all feel the same way about it. If not, we're probably in trouble as a society. We're supposed to stand up for liberty and freedom. And I don't like criminals, but at the same time, I don't like the unfair policing practices that are happening. And the reason, that they're happening for. And then I don't like the fact that nobody is standing up because they believe that everyone's a criminal. It's not really necessarily the case. The way that you look at the society is based on what the media gives you. And this well-oiled engine is running very well. Don't believe this propaganda. Don't accept these kind of laws. Speak out against it. This is my way of speaking out against it and bringing it to knowledge, bringing it to light. This is Sincere again with whoissincere.com. Go to my website. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter at Sincere Speaks. If you're on Facebook, like my Facebook page by typing in Who is Sincere with a question mark, and it'll pop up. You can hit the like page there. Keep following me for more articles like this. Thanks a lot.